one thing that I loved that you were doing was, were you calling it the reverse?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. They would fire me up because
hell yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I was enjoying a lot of those, and people were too. I mean, I would just look to see what people were saying about them, because I'd be like, I like this, but I'm not super like, and I've said before, I'm not like a super big music guy. I just if I hear something I like, and I'm like, all right, I'll listen to this, right? And
Yeah.
and I was only seeing good things too. So where did that kind of idea come from? Just more content, or were you just kind of one day having fun by yourself listening to a song, like I could spit on this track? Or
It was a mix of a few things. First thing was, I think it was about like 6 months ago, I put on my Instagram story, like, what do you guys want to see me work on? And it was like, do you want to see me do like singles, like get some singles, my own stuff out? You want to see me like more of like the mixtape, like work on your favorite songs? Or do you want to see like more kind of like the vlog type-esque, like get cameras in the studio, kind of give more content that way? And it was like an overwhelming 70% of people said like the remixes. And I was like, all right, that's cool. But then like sitting down, and then actually, so when I got back from Florida, I tested negative for COVID. My brother tested positive. So I was like, interesting. So I was quarantined for the 4 days you have to get back before you go, and then the 10 days, and didn't test positive the whole time. Just built different, like 7 for 7, 7 for 7 on these negative tests. But yeah, so I was just stuck in the house, and I have a decent little setup up in my attic. I built a little bit of a studio, and I was like, you know what? Every day, I'm just gonna get a reverse, and I don't want to do a mix, because you know how it goes. It's really hard to catch people's attention for 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes.
yeah,
I was like, so I'll do just like a verse, 8 to 16 bars. Get that, try to get like a little trendy, like no one, like a reverse, like, ooh, like what's that? You know what I mean? So try to do that. And then I actually got a lot of requests to do songs. So it was kind of they wanted me to do the reverses. And then I picked songs that people were telling me to do. So it gave them a little bit more of an idea to share it, or like, I'll reach out. Oh, that was sweet. Thanks. Like, I'll give you another one, that type thing. But it's a blast. And it's still fun, because I'm still every day finding a little bit more of a sound. And nothing helps more than to just work in different areas, because a lot of the artists, like none of the artists are even close to the same. So when you work on their song, it's like, oh wow, like,
and I think that's one of the reasons it was fun to listen to, is because like there was a lot of different like beats in those reverse, right? You're doing all different types of like, I mean, all in the same genre, I guess, but like all different types of sounds, and I really enjoyed it. And that's just like regardless of like podcasts, whatever, like I've been like watching those, and I think that's really cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're one of those guys that when you say, like, I've got lyrics for days, I believe you 100%. Because some people say that, and, it's just like it feels like just a little chest thumping.
Yeah.
They're just trying to say that. But then Pete Millie says it, and he just goes off. It's like, I believe just listening to your verses, like, this guy could just go forever and ever and ever and ever. Yeah. And it's cool doing the reverses because, like Matthew's saying, a lot of different songs that you're doing that with. And what I found when I listened to your album, which is available now, was that there were some songs on there that sounded like nothing you've ever done before.
Yeah.
Was that a vulnerable thing to do? Did it feel vulnerable when you kind of went for that different style?
Absolutely. It was a kind of a mix, because I know the skit in the beginning, because I was trying to tell a little bit of a story in the album, because it was my first one, and I was really excited about doing it. Like, I don't know, the track list, I don't know if you read them, but it kind of tells like 2 sentences. It like kind of tells like a little bit of a story. And then I wanted every single song to be so different from the one before, because I was like, you know what? My thought process is I don't even know where I want my sound to be, all and be all. So I'm going to work on 12 songs that are all different. And whether I'm more comfortable with one or whether I'm less comfortable with one, like working on it, that's what's just going to make me better. I was like, there's no staying in your comfort zone is just how you kind of don't move. So definitely vulnerable is a perfect word for it, because you're working on it and you're like, ugh, I'm not as confident. And you can tell in a sound. You can tell when someone's making music or whatever they're doing, or even like playing sports or anything. You could see like unconfidence or disconfident.
I don't know what the word is, but I know what you mean.
Not confident.
Like when somebody has a lack of confidence, like
like
you can, it definitely stands out.
Yeah, most definitely. But that was definitely something that I really, really enjoyed doing. And the different genres or different types, like there's like a punk rock song in there, a little bit of like a rocky type song, a little bit more of kind of like a soul type R&B. And I'm definitely most comfortable with just rapping, like just straight up rap. Like I want to just go 180 BPMs and I just want to rip a beat. But I was like, let's just see. Let's just try some different stuff.
But I think that like you admitting that you're most comfortable with that goes to what Andrew was saying with like your ability to create lyrics and like write really, really strong lyrics, because you can hear in the music, whether it be your album or the Reverse, stuff like that, anything that you've done. I mean, it just like I don't know the correct terms, but the lyrics sound good. I don't want to start talking about like flow or whatever. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what flow is, but like it sounds good.
I appreciate
to
that.
My untrained ear. So I guess if that's
I appreciate that. And Lyrics for Days is my notes app. I'm gonna have to really, really look at upgrading my iCloud pretty soon. Because it is just scroll, and there's just lyrics all over the place. Whenever I'm not doing anything and I just think of a cool thought, I'm like,
write that down.
Write in the notes app. Yeah.
I believe that 100%.
It's consistent.
It's interesting because it almost feels like you have, because one of the things I was curious about was like, what with your development with these songs and stuff, is there a song that when you released it or whatever, you were like, oh, this is me, this is my voice? It sounded like you were still searching for that.
Yeah.
But then it sounded like maybe you don't want to find it exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think that's digging into my subconscious, figuring me out. Yeah, I don't know because I don't really want to be put in like a label, or I don't really want to be like kept in a box. Because then once you start
to one thing.
Yeah, because then once you start, and even if you don't like it, you start doing something over and over, and people might like it, but then you switch it up, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be a better version of myself. And they're like, that's not what we liked you for. And it's like, well.
And you see that happen a lot with rappers,
Absolutely.
specifically when they get stuck in that one spot and then they try to switch it, and then people are like, well, I don't really fuck with this album or EP, whatever it is, like, because it's not the voice that I'm used to listening to.
Exactly.
So I think that's I never thought about it that way, but it's a good way to look at it. Like, just stay broad. There really is no reason to narrow yourself down, especially when everything you're putting out still, like, people still enjoy. So.
Exactly. That's my thought. And I have so much. I like being. It's almost like one of my favorite artists, R.I.P. Mac Miller, but he had like that Larry Fisherman. Like it was like him, but like not him. Then he was Mac. And I kind of want to be like, if I want to wake up one day and I just want to sound like be like a heartbreak, tell like a heartbreak song and like a lower tone, let's do it. And then if one day I just want to look like an absolute gorilla banging on his chest and just over the most trap beat you'll ever hear, like I'll do that too.
And Mac Miller's a great person to like compare that to, because he could do it all and he did it all so well. And he was saying it comes down to his lyrics. Like Mac, yeah, R.I.P. Mac Miller. I feel that.
That boy was special.
Yeah.
That boy was special.